Okay, so there's been a whole government incentivised thing to get solar panels on roofs of people who don't necessarily have the funds, or the elderly and all these other things, where they're given incentives. You know, it's basically pay for them. The government will pay for it so that less money is spent on fossil fuels and there's more naturally grown energy, you know, from solar panel, winds and all this other stuff, green resources. Anyway, the kind of bad thing about that is, whilst they claim it will save you money and all this, yeah, sure it would, but the energy companies don't really like that happening. So, you'll notice that should you ever get some, if you have them put in, you will notice in the first hour maybe, you will go back 20 units of power generation, especially in this summer heat. The sun is generating a lot of power. Yet, of course, if you check again the next day, you'll see that it says the word R, capital ED, flashing on and off with the numbers, and all of a sudden you're on an ultra high rate where normally you would generate less than 100 units in a week, and in one day you will have generated over 100 units of power usage. This is on top of generating power from your solar panels, so rather than actually saving money, you are using up far more electricity than you were ever before, because they consider it tampering, because you're generating electricity on the power supply, so it's reverse energy detected, which is really kind of scummy. And rather than just going, oh yeah, you've got solar panels, let's just cancel that off and put you back on the normal rate, and whatever you generate, they don't want negative energy generated, because they would have to pay you at their going rate, because you're supplying it on their market, to you for energy you've generated. So, to get around this, they will wait 6 weeks of average usage to see how much you're generating and how much you're using, and fiddle the numbers so that it will give you a minor saving and not necessarily what you're actually generating, but they said they'll just reset it back to your average use. So even then, npower, what are you going to do? See how much is being generated and how much is being used, and fiddle the numbers so that it works out that there's actually no saving with the solar generators, and you're benefiting it from it rather than the actual people who are generating the electricity, which really seems quite chummy, especially in winter when there's going to be less sunlight and less heavy sunlight. But shouldn't it just be that whatever you generate, and that gets taken off your bill, or you get paid for it, rather than this scummy tactics? And say you don't notice it, do they just get away with it, charging you extortionate rates? I mean, you've got the solar panels because you think you're going to get savings, when in actual fact your bills will go up because they think there's tampering or reverse energy detected, which, with this government incentivised scheme and the number of people that are probably going to get solar panels now, is going to be quite a severe problem. So they're going to get huge profits from that. Are they going to go, oh sorry, we were wrong, and pay people back? I don't think so, unless you actually notice it yourself and go out and say something to them. They're probably just going to pocket all the money for themselves and think, yeah, job sorted, we got all that, you know. No, it just doesn't really seem on. So make sure you check for yourself if you get solar panels. Make sure you check that it doesn't suddenly say reverse energy detected. See how much you were generating as well, and make sure that that gets taken off your bill rather than, you know, just added on or net neutral for nothing because they're getting away with it, which is really, really dodgy. I mean, surely with the amount of people and the amount of common solar panels today, they shouldn't be reverse energy detecting and then suddenly putting you on some sort of super rate. I mean, is that natural for tampering, that it detects reverse energy? Surely tampering would just be that they would cancel out the electricity, you know. It'd be like, oh no, we're not using any electricity at all, we're feeding it onto the supply. So I'm sure there's other things like power generators and different ways that you could generate power onto the electricity supply. I was fairly sure that it wouldn't have that sort of influence, but apparently so. Apparently they can just get away with that. So yeah, be sure to check for yourself and tell people you know who have solar panels to check for themselves, especially the elderly, who are going to be the ones that are going to be the most likely to benefit from this government scheme. So yeah, pensioners that won't think to check, that won't know better, yeah, make sure they know better. Make sure you tell family members and other people that have got it. So thanks for watching. Goodbye.